Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about my take on the current season, Season 11 in Diablo 4. Not from the point of view of someone who has been playing for a week, but how it really is if you look at the season as a competitive experience. That's it for the intro. This is New Off with you, no crying and no fancy adjectives. Let's get straight to the point. Personally, I have put 350 hours into Season 11, and here is what I realized. This is a completely broken season, even more broken than the last one, Season 10. But, as the polls show, casual players like it. They like it even more than the previous season, Season 10. And that is true. It has been, and continues to be, pretty fun. There is still about a month left until the end of the season, by the way. So, for anyone who hasn't played yet, you can definitely still start and have enough time to try everything out. And all the season guides are on the channel. Let me show you everything in practice without any theories. Using the example of the Sorceress, a class I have been playing for 3 seasons now and know a thing or two about. Yes, let me clarify again, just to be clear. If you play for 2 or 3 weeks in the season and you don't care about the ladder, then everything is fine, sometimes even good and fun. The season is a success, no two ways about it. The situation with the Paladin is obvious too. The Paladin is part of the expansion that is being sold for double the price, and he is much stronger than all other classes. And that's how it should be. Otherwise, how do you get a user to pay not 20, but 40 coins for the expansion and for the dubious pleasure of playing as the OP character? It will be the same with the Warlock in the expansion coming out on April 28th. It will be the strongest in the game. I think it's all obvious here. It's basic marketing and no analysis or interpretation is required. But I have to notice the huge progress Blizzard has made. The progress is simply colossal. For example, when the Vessel of Hatred expansion came out and Spiritborn appeared, the situation was just unhealthy. Look, Spiritborn was running Pit 150 in 2 minutes compared to a Druid doing Pit 116 in 15 minutes. That's a difference in damage of many orders of magnitude. That's not a metaphor. The difference in damage between Spiritborn and the weakest Druid that season was thousands of times. Let's estimate roughly. If a hero runs a pit in 2 minutes, then in 15 minutes he can do a pit about 20 levels higher. So it turns out, without the pit limit of 150 levels, the gap would be 170 minus 116, which is 54 levels. By the way, the current pit limit of 150 is artificial, and in Season 5 the damage was such that almost all classes were running above 150. The difference in Season 5 was only 22 levels, which is also a lot, by the way. In Season 7, 5 classes were close together. Close together meaning pit 150 in 3 to 9 minutes, which gives a damage difference of only a few times, and the rogue's fate is to lag behind at the end. You know, I've looked through all the seasons, and the difference, adjusted for a 3-minute pit 150 time, has never been less than 20 levels, except for Season 8. So what am I getting at, and why am I praising Blizzard? I don't really know myself, but I'll try to explain. The gap between the strongest class and the weakest in Season 11 is only 21 levels. In the season selling the previous update with Spiritborn, the gap was 54 levels, remember? And now it's only 21. 21 levels is the average fluctuation from other seasons. And also, Blizzard are just great. And Blizzard also did something impressive. Getting almost all players to buy 2 updates for 40 coins, considering that 95% of those who bought this pack already had the first Vessel of Hatred expansion. That is truly cool. For new players, the full package looks acceptable. The game itself, plus both expansions, cost 70 coins. A bit much, but bearable. But how they sold just the latest expansion for 40 coins to everyone who already owns the game, and the first expansion, that's impressive. Why am I measuring in coins? Because the prices for the USA and Europe are the same and different at the same time. 40, but in the USA it's $40, and in Europe it's 40 euros, and 40 euros right now equals $47. This overprice seemed completely unjustified until the announcement of all the expansion's features came out. I made a separate video about them because they are really impressive. If you don't know about it, be sure to check it out. So, after studying all the new additions, I no longer react so aggressively to primitive marketing tricks to squeeze money out of people. In other words, these announced changes impressed me, and I became more loyal. Well, for a while at least. Anyway, I was talking about balance. So, it's never been there and it's still not. Or maybe it is. It depends on whether we are buying or selling. Is it fun? Well, probably yes, it's fun, but it's not balanced. The theme of Season 11, I'm talking about it again, is such that for the entertainment of 80% of players, everything is done perfectly. But what about competitive gear? Remember in one of the previous videos I explained everything about the ladder? Well, when it comes to getting on the ladder, things are bad. To get into the top, we need, first, to be a popular streamer whom viewers take to kill the mythic prankster in nightmare dungeons and just give tons of items, runes, and gold. Second option, spend real money buying items and buying a spot in a party for the mythic prankster. Third, to be extremely lucky or play 500 or more hours in the season. Personally, I don't fit into any category. I'm not lucky. Viewers threw me a few bits and pieces and took me to the prankster, for which I am very grateful. But it didn't help me get the gear I needed, and after playing 350 hours, I can't look at this sanctification mechanic anymore. I can't craft anymore like a robot, especially gloves, offhands, and boots. The design of crafting as such is not suited for the seasonal sanctification at all. I understand, and it's not a feeling, but pure mathematics, that I will get the gear needed for the top 10, which is Pit 118 or 119, if I play another 200 or 300 hours in the current season. There's more than enough time, but I can't keep doing this cycle anymore. Ubers, Asmodan, Ubers. In all past seasons, the reality was that a competitive build could be put together in 250 or 300 hours. In this season, through gameplay, it's impossible in that time. So I state responsibly, there is no balance here. The sanctification idea is normal, but it needs refinement for a human with a nervous system, not for bots and automated scripts for finding the right tempers at the blacksmith and stats at the occultist. This is clearly not for people, considering that everything has to be done on an industrial scale. Everyone who played any significant amount of time in Season 11 is just delighted by the number of clicks on action confirmation windows. Blizzard are just great, occupying half of the player's time with clicking confirmation windows. That takes talent. And the developers definitely have it. It's extremely engaging to click and click, especially the last step, sanctification. The developers promised I would be excited, but I wasn't excited. A couple of times I pretended to be happy on camera, but I don't think it looked natural. Usually I felt empty, clearly understanding the probabilities of getting the right sanctification on the right item. But when the loot filter and other things in the expansion were announced, I was excited, truly excited. To be specific, I'm talking about sanctification again. The problem with Top Gear is that the additional mythic aspects from Shaco, Starless Skies, and Grandfather should be not just anywhere, but on the helm, chest, pants, or boots. The thing is, only in weapons and jewelry can all the other necessary legendary aspects drop. But mythic aspects can drop anywhere, thereby depriving you of the fullest possible combination of them, the aspects, on all your items. The crafting cycle itself is very tedious. First, make sockets for runes, then apply the aspect, then try to get the desired stat at the occultist. If it's plus to skills on gloves, it's just hard labor. Then go to the blacksmith and click through tempers, then 25 clicks for masterworking. All of this is seasoned with a bunch of confirmation windows and animation windows at the blacksmith. The player is supposed to get into this engaging activity and remember Season 11, and unsurprisingly, the season is among the most popular of all previous ones among casual players. Personally, I crafted 100 to 150 items a day. That's altogether legendary, unique, or mythic items. It doesn't matter. I count them all together. In total, items rolled, tempered, and masterworked with sanctified were about 4,000 or 5,000. I cleared Pit 116. I can probably do 117 too if I try for 20 or 30 hours, but I can't anymore. I have no strength left. For items for Pit 118 and above, you need to play another couple hundred hours. But that's it for me. This season is over. I'm burned out. Although, it's been 2 weeks since I played, and I've relaxed a little. Maybe in another week I'll play some more. I won't make any predictions. But overall, this season didn't leave me with positive emotions. It felt kind of empty. I mean, I have neither positive nor negative emotions after it. It just felt like nothing. Tower. There's not much to discuss here because it's a beta and everything will change. Moreover, as explained in detail in the video about the tower, it will change regardless of the opinion of the most active players. Everything in the tower is messed up. Melee elite monsters, like ranged elite monsters, have been made blind. Not completely. Their detection range has been forcibly reduced. As soon as you move a little to the side, they stop chasing you. Sometimes they don't even try. My point is that each mob type should have its own behavior algorithm. And it exists, this algorithm, but only for normal mobs. They behave more or less predictably. Mages and archers are reluctant to chase, preferring to shoot from afar. Melee mobs run after you. But when it comes to elites, everything breaks. A mob with a club doesn't react to you 2 meters away, although it should chase you and try to hit you with that club. But it loses sight of you at a tiny distance, and its aggression level resets. I mean, it doesn't see you, and conditionally doesn't remember you existed at all. So we can't really talk about the tower yet, it's a mess, and the basic principles of the game aren't working, or rather they are deliberately broken. I repeat, elite mobs are crippled. Normal ones are more or less okay. Though with a significant caveat, normal mobs give almost no experience. But it's a beta, and hopefully everything will be fixed. Azmodan is drawn out over time while not posing any threat. It stops being entertaining after just a few dozen visits. Classic activities are good. Helltide, Kurast Undercity, Nightmare Dungeons, Tree of Whispers, Horde, Ubers. So what's fine is what they didn't try to slap together in a hurry, but what has been balanced over many seasons. Against this backdrop, I take a very, very positive view of the announced theme for Season 12, kill streaks. For this mechanic, you don't need to hastily make something crooked and tedious. All activities will work. I made a video about the PTR for Season 12. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So, what I don't understand is why they broke the pit. Did it really require them to stick their clumsy hands into it? They removed experience from it, slowed down the exit by increasing the number of gold packs. Maybe enough, I wonder. Have the developers ever heard of a sense of proportion? Why make backtracking worse, thereby completely destroying the activity? I'm sure the same people responsible for the broken pit are the ones discussing speeding up the door animation in Nightmare Dungeons. In my opinion, as a series veteran, this isn't about a lack of competence, but about something beyond the bounds of normal. And that's something for medicine to deal with. The drop rate of materials in some insane quantities that devalue everything, as well as the drop rate of mythics in insane quantities, this is all bad. And again, this so-called creation is the work of the same geniuses with no sense of proportion. Well, that's about it, I think. In short, what wasn't touched in Season 11, Kurast, Horde, Whispers, Helltide, Ubers, good. Crafting, gear rework, and the tempering system, okay. Azmodan, bearable. Tower, no good. Logic is broken. But it's a beta. Drop rates of materials and mythics in insane quantities, bad. Sanctification in their current state, terrible. To perfect a build you need to play a couple thousand hours. I hope I never see it in the same form again. The ruined pit and the discussion about doors in Nightmare Dungeons. I already mentioned this above. That's my opinion on Season 11. It came out not very loyal, I know. I hope I didn't forget anything and didn't come across as too rude. If I forgot something or came across that way, write a comment. If I didn't forget and didn't come across that way, write and say what a good job I did. I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.